All right, let's talk about trending. Trending is very important. SCADA integration and all that stuff. You need trending. So what I have here is a current clamp, current donut, 0 to 10 volt output. It's actually on my pool pump. Um, so I've got that connected to a PLC input card. So I have real analog feedback on my pool pump, and I'm bringing that into Wonderware, Orchestra, Aviva System Platform. I think that's what it's called. Um, so right now we have the pool pump running, and we're bringing in a analog or scaled analog value of 8.25 amps, and we've got a little sparkline trend, which is part of their situational awareness library, running. We can change our date range. So I've got that off screen because I'm not showing them off screen. And there's your sparkline trend. You can't really do a whole lot with it other than change the time or reconfigure it uh, for the sparkline trend. And these live in the real-time trend area, which I'm not 100% sure if that comes from the same source as your historian. If you have it pointed, I believe these trends just run for shorter periods of time in RAM, and then they're overwritten. To do a longer trend, we're going to need the SQL database. So we'll go to trends, and then we'll browse our computer's SQL server locally. So we have to open up all the items there. I guess you could filter it to speed it up, but that's where we're at time-wise now. And then we're going to go to all analog tags to find our pool pump. So I can hit P here. Let's find our pool pump current. There's my analog. All right. I've been told that your selectors up here are a bit funny and that sometimes it's better just to use the center one. So let's play around with the trend. We're at 5 minutes. Let's go out to 4 hours. And you can see I've started and stopped the pump a few times, and there's my inrush current for a split second. Now let's move around on the trend. All right, it's working okay. Takes a little while to do it. Okay, let's look at more than a day of data. So let's go from 14th to the 15th. 14th to the 15th. So we're showing that range now. All right, let's say we want to zoom in, play around with that. Let's see, zoom in. Don't know what just happened there. We're down to 0.007 when we hit zoom in. That doesn't make any sense. Let's go back to 4 hours. We can drag our little red and blue things here. This is about it as far as I can tell. I'm sure there's some little tricks on how to play around with the trend. Let's do a big date range. Let's do from the 13th. I selected the 13th and it didn't like that. Now it's the 13th. The 13th through the 13th. Okay, so it changed that. Didn't want it to. Let's do the 13th through the 15th. Click around. Oh, let's see. I think we're missing some data over here. So it works, but that's your process on how to get a trend. So let's do the same thing with a competing software called VTscada. I drew a quick analog value. Let's just click on the trend. And I just started trending this data, so there's not much, but let's play around with that. Let's zoom in on the trend. Oh, cool, that works. Zoom out. Nope, zoom out. That's nice. I can just scroll around here. This took me about 1 minute total to set up. So let's see what happens at that current spike right there. Is there anything valuable? Oh, that's nice. Look, we spike up to 12.3 amps. That's useful data. That tells me that my inrush current is a little high, which we expect it to be high, but maybe we can compare this inrush to another inrush to see if we have a developing problem. Pump primes up really quick, inrush current dies, and we're there. Let's zoom back out. Boom. All right. We're running along there so we can scale it very easily there. We quickly get built-in averages.